People, Deluded, I'm back again. Seen on the internet a couple of things, so I thought we'd speak about them. The first is actually irrelevant to Arsenal, or he's a former player. Ismail Bennacer, you lot know, since he left Arsenal, he just keeps on growing his stature as a player. First at Empoli, now at AC Milan. He's being linked with a £30 million move back to France, people, where we bought him from. Pardon me. Being linked back with a move to France to PSG for €30 million, which would be great for him. Champions League football, playing with elite players, and again highlights his stature. You look at him, Marlon, and the best case scenario is Gnabry, and seeing how they've risen as footballers, it's crazy, people. And I think Bennacer had something to offer our midfield. I think he could have offered something immediately in this midfield. I think Arteta would love him, but it's not going to stay at anything more than hypothetical. Keeping up with midfielders, and the agent of Mandy Kamara has spoken out about the interest in his client. He's been linked with Arsenal, he's been linked with a couple of clubs. He said, many European clubs have a great deal of interest in Mandy, but first we want to see how the season with Olympiacos ends. He has no preference on which country or league to join, because the main issue for him is finding a big club so he can continue improving and fighting for titles. This can happen in Italy, in England, in Germany. So the word titles is specifically subjective. If you mean FA Cups and Cups, then Arsenal's got you. I'm sure he grew up watching Arsenal or knowing of Arsenal and Henry and all these things. So there's that. This screams to me that his agent either wants to leverage the interest to get a better deal at Olympiacos because he's comfortable in that, in this situation, he's a star player, or it's just simply a bidding war. Highest bidder gets the player. He has no preference. The highest bidder, best financial package, best sport. If you can come together with the best sporting package, best financial package, and offer us something, he will go there. So that's a bidding war sort of thing, in my opinion. Away from that, a Norwich City midfielder and former Arsenal midfielder Charlie Gilmour has offered some points, people, and he's spoken in relation to Ljungberg. Now, you don't know me, I've got a lot of time for Charlie Gilmour. I think he's going to have a good career. He's bigged up Ljungberg, and again, this is why I don't want to lose Ljungberg in the Arsenal ranks at all. He said, my last year at Arsenal, my manager was Freddie Ljungberg, and I still keep in contact with him now. He was the person to deal with in terms of man management. I could always talk to him, and he's just so detailed in everything that he does. And he's not the first person to say this about Ljungberg. You just love talking to him, pardon me, because he is so into football like you. He's definitely up there. I like people that speak to you and want to improve you as a player and are very detailed in their work. I find that to be more beneficial for me, and I think that those sort of coaches get the best out of me. So again, Ljungberg clearly is a guy that goes above and beyond. Gilmour is a player who not only studies his own performances at base level, he wants to get into the details, the devil's in the details, and he genuinely wants to improve. So when you've got two men like that, in a player and a coach respectively, you see how they hit it off. And obviously, Gilmour's not only in contact with his former coach there, but a former Arsenal staff member in Jonker, because he's obviously on loan in Holland at Telstar, and we wish Gilmour all the best, and I want to see him playing in the Prem or at a top level, because I believe he's got that. I want to see a bidding war between England and Scotland potentially for his future. I really like him, man, and yeah, man. Shout out to Gilmour and wish him all the success, and big up to Freddie Ljungberg. Another Arsenal midfielder slash centre half. He's contracted until 2022. He actually, ironically, is 22. Sorry. He'll be out of contract by 24. He's actually technically played in one game, albeit for the reserves, with our current manager, Ben Sheaf. Now, I've got a lot of time for him. I think, the problem he's got is there's a lot of midfield prospects at the club. There's a lot of and has been at the club. There's a lot of midfielders in the first team, and there probably will be another one. Centre half, another position where he doesn't want to go back to but can play there, is congested. And yeah, I like him, and I think he could, I think technically he can hold his own. He's a very good technical player, good range of passing. I think he's always had that mature head on his shoulders to understand all elements of the game. But since he's been exposed in a first team environment on loans at Stevenage and currently starring in midfield for Doncaster, he's got that. I think he could be a decent squad player for us, a jack of all trades. He can fill in that right back, could do a job in midfield, comfortable at centre half. Again, for him, you don't want to. You run the risk of becoming a jack of all trades, master of none. He still believes he can make it at Arsenal, and you should never give up. He said, I want to play for Arsenal, that's the dream. It's easy to say that injuries have stopped me, which I think they have partially. Of course injuries have played a part. And he said, but I do not wish I had a different journey than I had. It sounds strange, but that's how it is. And I like to hear that from Sheaf, because that's what, that's the sort of approach. You can't cry over spilt milk. I could sit here and say, if I never got this injury, I would have done this and that, but it's happened. Maybe this was always part of my story. I've got to accept it and get on with it. And he's really got that working class nature about him. I've really got a lot of time for Sheaf. You see me make a number of vids, and like I said, whether he makes it at Arsenal or not, he's one I think we're going to look back and say, he was at Arsenal, he had a good career, really and truly. I think he's very good technically, man. I've got a lot of time for him. He said, I've had dark moments. I've had dark periods, but I know I'm good enough. And if I get the chance, I have to prove it. It's just about whether that chance comes or not. And again, at 22 years of age, you've got to ask yourself, is it going to come? Again, the season's been messed up, but I'm sure you would want to go back to Arsenal at least for a week or two in pre-season. Put yourself in under the immediate eye of Arteta. Hopefully he takes a chance on you and says, you're coming on pre-season tour, we're going to keep you for the season. If he says that and says you have the opportunity to, as long as you train and play to your maximum, you'll get the chance in this side, then cool. I think that's all Sheaf wants. Ben Sheaf wants. Sheaf wants, I can't pronounce his name, because he's shown it. Again, it's to a different example, but Mustafi, Xhaka, two players for different reasons who were seen as potentially being moved on. They've been given opportunities. So again, Arteta will give you opportunities if you train hard. Obviously, you've seen Joe, Martinelli. Obviously, I've got to big up Emery as well because he's played Martinelli and Saka. But you've seen Saka, Martinelli, Emil technically start a game against Everton. Couple of young players have had opportunities. So I know Ben at this age now, 22, is not getting any younger. He needs to go somewhere where he can stay for a couple of years and get some stability. But yeah, man, the opportunity is there if Arteta likes you. He said, in relation to the first team, he said, of course, that's what I want. I want to go back there next season and get in the first team. It's as simple as that, really. But I know the reality of it. So he's preparing for the worst, hoping for the best. So he's ready to... This strikes me as someone that, I'm giving it all I can. And I'll give it all I've got at Arsenal. But at the end of the day, I'm contracted until 2022. I've got a decision to make. Do I leave now or do I run down my deal by the time I'm 24 and then move on? And maybe I've got two pre-seasons to have an opportunity. By then I'll have 1 year left. Or do I keep it moving and go somewhere where I can settle down roots in the Championship, in League One? If a Premier League team wants me, I think the best for him is to continue in League One / Championship, ideally Championship. Play some games, get closer to 100 career appearances as a professional footballer, which he must be making fairly decent progress. Settle down, play consistently, become a hub of the team, become a real important cog in the team, and then the rest will take care of itself. And then we might be looking at, how did we let him go? Look at Luke Ayling at Leeds. He got his head down, went Bristol, went a couple of other teams, and now if he gets Premier League with Leeds, it is what it is. Well, Kyle Bartley with Swansea if they get promoted. I don't know where they are, but yeah, man. He said, I'm 22 now and injuries haven't done me the world of good, but I'd love to go back and prove myself because I've really never had an injury-free spell when I've been there. So considering he joined at 16, that sucks really. Obviously, you lot know he made his debut in 2017 against Red Star, and he also made an appearance, ironically, against his former club, West Ham, in the quarter-finals. And he said in relation to that, it was crazy over there at Red Star. Obviously, Serbia, mad football fans. So passionate and hostile, which these are moments you never lose. He said, even the tunnel was crazy. It was so enclosed that you go down this long corridor which was lined by these security guards, and then you come by and you're getting whistled at and having things thrown at you. It was so eye-opening. Then it was good to get on at the Emirates against West Ham. I remember winning a header against Andy Carroll and thinking, blimey, what's going on here? So again, these are moments you want to... These are the moments obviously, trophies and things are relevant, but these are moments that you never forget as a footballer. You're pinching yourself. Am I really playing with guys that are on FIFA? Am I really playing? Is this on TV? Blah, blah, blah. To get it. Speaking about his injury, he said, it was the second day of pre-season. It was a problem at the back of my knee. Assist. It was really tough mentally because I would always do everything perfectly with my rehab. Then I would come back and it would go again. So that sucks. And it's all about keeping yourself strong mentally. So yeah, he said, at the start of the season, I set myself a target of 35 games. So to have that number of games under my belt already is really positive. So, you know, he's had like I've said in a previous vid, I've said if you was to ask me best loan spells so far, I think Ben Sheaf is the best one. Obviously, you can say Saliba if you count that technically, but I think Ben's the best one because he's played games, he's become very important in the side. And, you know, he set himself a target of 35 games. He's went and got that. So it's a good season for him and one that should allow him confidence to build on. And you never know, playing like this, he could be on the radar of some Championship clubs or League One clubs, or maybe, I don't think he's ready right now for Premier League consistently, but there might be some interest from there. You never know what good performances do for you, or even abroad. You previously heard we're keen to loan him out abroad to accelerate his development. I would like to see him get a chance in some capacity, but again, at 22 years of age, he's got to be honest with himself. So yeah, man. He said, "I've learned so much. That rhythm of playing, that continuity. I can't say that word, but that rhythm of playing, that continuity is so key." You know the word for continue. I can't say it, people. Especially for young players who are learning the game. And again, that's the best thing. Playing week in, week out. You see some people go on loan. They might play 10 games. And look at Dan Crowley, who used to be at this club. The Oxford loan or whatever, not Oxford, was it Barnsley? Play a couple of games, then you're out the side when results go differently. Do you get it? Or a manager might use you now, and then you're out the team, and then your confidence is shattered. Minutes are currency, so you're not playing any games, and he has done that. At the end of the day, minutes are currency. He's dramatically a better player, more experienced player than he was last season. So this is the benefit. He said, "I've been in central midfield all season. I'd not played regularly there for a while, as my last 2 or 3 seasons at Arsenal was mostly at centre-back. But now I don't know if I could see myself at centre-back again." And I mean, if Arteta says play centre-back and you'll play at this club, I think you would, but fair enough. "I remember playing in a few under-23s games with Mikel. There was one game, I think it was Blackburn at the training ground, when I was shifted to right-back actually, just so he could be in the team. The boys have got nothing but good things to say about him. They're buying into his philosophy, and you can see that with the performances. Just hearing about him really makes me want to go back and work under him." So again, we are back anyone that comes from the academy, and hopefully you go and have a decent career, bro, and you do your thing. You do your thing at the club, man. Hopefully. Away from that though, people. Apparently, Arsenal and Manchester United are eyeing Ousmane Dembele. Now, we're always linked with him, people. Again, the latest one, at least in Arsenal's case, is that we want to buy him permanently. He could be available for as little as 50 million, which I don't believe. And then there's other reports saying that we want him on loan. So who knows, people. You know, apparently Dembele could be one minute. I don't think they should sell him. 1 minute they're not selling him, but you consistently hear Dembele, Umtiti, Semedo, Griezmann. Who else? There's a couple of Coutinho, always linked with moves away from Barca in the name of raising funds, whether that's to bring in Neymar, whether that's to do whatever they're doing, people. So yeah, man. Apparently, Arsenal are monitoring the situation, but will examine the causes of Dembele's injury woes before making their interest formal. Both clubs are enticed by Barcelona's asking price, which could be as low as 43 million, as the side aim to raise funds for a summer splurge. I don't think it will be, but it is what it is. Arsenal are being tentative before making the move, knowing that it would require a big investment to sign the player. It's explained they are investigating Dembele's personality and lifestyle away from the pitch. They want to know if that lifestyle has contributed to injuries, whether Dembele is just prone to such fitness problems, or if it's down to Barcelona's treatment of him, which is probably all three mixture. Sports say Arsenal are collecting data to find out if it is possible to change this negative dynamic that he has been in since he's joined Barcelona. The Catalonian club would be willing to send their player out on loan, which cuts a large part of the initial cost. However, they want the club to pay the majority of his wages. Now again, I mean, if Dembele ever wanted to leave, yes, the French ties to Arsenal and maybe a former teammate in Aubameyang could help us, but again, I see Dembele as a Champions League player. Arsenal cannot offer him that. So unless there's other reasons to entice him, I don't think that's a thing, people. But who knows, man, who knows? It could happen, who knows? But in relation to Gilmour, Kamara, Ben Sheaf, and just general comments, I've got nothing more to say, so I'm going to get out of here. On that note, it's always a pleasure, but I got to go. People, deluded.